From being a corporate banker to a best-selling author of Shiva trilogy, Amish Tripathi's journey being a great admiration. By providing novel and refreshing perspective to our past, young readers from his book has got close to their grassroots. Hi Amish, welcome to our Indiatimes shopping special.
Thank you. Pleasure meeting with you, Indiatimes people.
I would want to start with asking you, as an IIM graduate with years of corporate experience, end up choosing a novel concept of blending history, mythology, and fiction in his book.
How did it happen?
Yeah.
Microsoft Windows has this wonderful function called Alt Tab. तो बेसिकली जब बॉस कैबिन में आ जाए ऑल टैब करके काम पे आ जाओ, जैसे ही वो चला जाए ऑल टैब करके किताब पे वापस चले जाओ. दैट्स हाउ आई एम जोकिंग. माय फर्स्ट टू बुक्स आई रोट इट डूइंग माय कम्यूट्स in Mumbai. Fortunately the commutes are very long between home and office. It used to take me an hour and a half, so I used to write sitting on the back seat of my car on my laptop, and that's how I wrote the first two books. So fortunately one found the time to write. As far as the subject of mythology and history is concerned, well, I mean, I've been interested in this subject from as long as I can remember. I love reading history books. I'm a voracious reader, and history books were a particular area of passion for me. As far as mythology is concerned, I guess you can call it good fortune of birth. I was born into a family of a priest. My grandfather was a priest in Banaras and a teacher at Banaras Hindu University, and both my parents are very religious. So much of what I know of mythology and philosophy I learned from my family. I learned it the old fashioned way, through listening.
Wow.
And so that's how I had much of the knowledge. But how it emerged into a story is that's honestly Lord Shiva's blessing.
So probably your third edition and the final conclusion one is also from the back seat of the.
Anyway, I resigned from my job a year and a half ago. So I wrote the third book, parts of it in Singapore, parts of it I had taken a holiday in Banaras, and parts of it right here at home in Mumbai.
Wow. Yeah. There is a palpable excitement on the launch of your new book, both of the Vayuputras. Tell us something about it.
Look, it's a concluding book of the Shiva trilogy. It's a long book. I must admit that. It's the first book, for example, The Immortals of Meluha, was some 26 chapters long. The second book was 23 chapters long. This one is a good 54 chapters. So it's a long book. There were a lot of loose ends to tie up. Many characters had to have their say. There are a lot of battles, so it's a war against evil. So there are a lot of very brutal, violent battles through the third book. Inshallah, all the readers will like it. I've tried my best.
Wow. You have been quoted as saying that it's a fallacy to think that a good book sells itself. Could you throw some light on this statement and the effective marketing strategies that you have adopted in order to promote your book?
Yes, I do agree with that statement. I'm a voracious reader, and I can give you a long list of books that I think should have been bestsellers, but they aren't. And for a very simple reason: how the hell are you going to read a book if you haven't even heard of it? Because if you haven't heard of it, you can't buy it. If you can't buy it, you won't read it. So it has to be marketed. Every book has to be marketed well. We did quite a few different things with my three books. With the first book, for example, we printed the first chapter. This was an idea from my wife. We printed the first chapter with a proper cover, and we distributed it free of cost at bookstores as a sampler. We made a trailer film. I've been told apparently before that a trailer film had never been made for a book before. For the second book, we made an even higher quality trailer film, which we released at cinemas. It was the quality of a movie trailer. And for the third book, what we've done is we've created an entire music album. Once again, I've been told that apparently this is the first time that an original soundtrack album has been created for a book series. And there are 10 songs with top-notch artists like Tawfiq Qureshi ji, Sonu Nigam, Palash Sen, Bikram Ghosh, who've all come together to create original songs from different sections of the three books. And this has been launched along with an extremely professional music video, which will be telecast in various TV channels. So this is quite a different way to promote a book. So we've done quite a few different marketing activities, innovative marketing activities, and I believe they are important to promote a book. Of course, you shouldn't let marketing interfere in the writing of the book. When you're writing the book, it has to be completely pure. You can't bother about how the market will accept it. You can't do market research and write a book. That's stupid. You should write a book with the purity of your heart. But once you've written it, You have to be practical, you have to market it properly.
Great. That brings me to your next question. Your book have influenced many. So tell us about your literary favorites.
Okay, I don't know how many people my books have influenced, but look, I'm a voracious reader, so it's difficult for me to give a list of favorite authors of all time, because the list keeps expanding. So normally, how I answer this question is by talking about my favorite books of either the recent past, that I've read. So the books that I've read in the recent past, the ones that I like, are India: Sacred Geography by Diana Eck. She is a professor of comparative religion at Harvard. She's an American, and her passion for India is so immense that I genuinely believe she must have been an Indian in her past birth. She understands India better than many Indians do, and she is spoken of the spiritual land of India. It's a wonderful book. I read The End of Faith by Sam Harris. It's an atheist handbook. So I'm a believer, so I know it would surprise you that I read a book like that. But I always think that it's good to listen to opposing points of view, because it helps you think. And it's not a God-hating, extremist book. The End of Faith. It's a very thought through, logical, cogent, argumentative book. It was an interesting read, I must admit. I read M and the Big Home by Jerry Pinto, which I really liked. I thought it was a good book.
Great. So, my next question will be on the lines of ethics that you just mentioned.
Okay.
During the course of writing this book, it is said that you have gone from being an atheist to being a believer in Lord Shiva. Give us an insight into the spiritual transformation.
Okay, I should calibrate that a little bit. It won't be gone towards faith. You can call it return to faith, because I grew up in a very religious family. But yes, I did become an atheist in the early 90s. And you may be old enough to remember that that was a period which was a terrible phase for India and for Mumbai. We went through a series of communal riots. Right. Many of us in our gang, we kind of started thinking that maybe religion is the problem. I was too young to think deeply about it. My father used to tell me there are bad people who are doing something wrong. You can't blame religion for it. But I didn't really understand that, and I guess I moved towards atheism. It took me 10-12 years to kind of return, and I returned with this book. As I started writing more and more of the book, I found myself being drawn back towards faith. I can't say that it was this bright flash of light and I suddenly became religious again. It happened slowly, and as I discovered more and more of the Shiva in my books, I found that I was attracted more and more to the god.
Tell us something about the lighter and relatively unknown side of Amish.
यार मैं बोरिंग किस्म का आदमी हूँ यार. नहीं ये look, I mean, there are a few passions that I have. I'm not really a foodie. I'm not really a fashion junkie or anything like that. I mean, things that I like are, I love reading. I love music. I love traveling. I love spending time with my family. I like spirituality. I like thinking of God. I like praying. That's all. That's most of what I do. I mean, और है क्या जिंदगी में?
The entire Shiva trilogy has crossed an unprecedented 1.5 million copies in print, making it the fastest selling book series in Indian publishing history. Your views, please.
Like, wow. No, man, it's I didn't even think that my books would get published. The fact that we are where we are is, to me, it's a dream. It's Lord Shiva's blessing. And I always say, I'm living a dream, so don't wake me up.
Amish, one last question. The kind of great reviews with huge fan following on Indiatimes Shopping for your first two books have encouraged us to expect more from this final concluding book. What is your message to our users?
Well, firstly, what I'd like to tell the Indiatimes customers is thank you so much for your support to the first two books of the Shiva trilogy, The Immortals of Melu and The Secret of the Nagas. I hope I can give you a sense of completion with the final book, The Oath of the Vayuputras. I've tried my best. I hope you guys like it. Thank you.
Last but not the least, it was indeed a pleasure to spare some time for Indiatimes Shopping users.
Thank you
once again.
Thank you. Pleasure meeting you. To all you Indiatimes Shopping users, you can buy the books of the Shiva trilogy The Immortals of Meluha, The Secret of the Nagas, and The Oath of the Vayuputras by visiting shopping.indiatimes.com.
To all our Indiatimes shopping users, to book a pre-launch copy of The Oath of Vayuputras, log into shopping.indiatimes.com today. This is Jiten signing off. Thank you.